map on this car now, and I have driven it for about, give or take, 1000 km so far. So, I mean, in the last video you saw that I was a little scared of pushing this car in traffic, obviously, because there's no point risking other people and the car. But fortunately for me, I got some nice downtime at night to really put this car through its paces, and I have to say, this is a brilliant map. You know, when I was going into this, I honestly didn't know. So before I say anything, let me just show you guys. I put this. Okay, let me just turn the traction control off. Okay, off. VRS mode, sport mode, and here we go. I never had traction control issues in third gear, fourth gear. Holy crap, man. So that is the map in a nutshell. You know, from a usability perspective, it is phenomenal. You know, the low end grunt that you get in this map actually lets you enjoy the car pretty much in traffic conditions. One of the gripes I had about this car particularly, and I thought maybe it was just the way the car was tuned from the factory and then how the other tune was built up on it, was the low end was missing. And after having spent some time discussing with Revo guys and what did it for the OPF map, it was actually, the low end was restricted to keep traction on the car. Secondly, also to prevent the car's IITs from shooting up, because the stage 1 maps are designed for the OEM intercooler, which, as you all know, is pretty pathetic in this car. Whereas this map is designed specifically for use with an intercooler. They actually advise you to take in a boost pipes and an intake. Boost pipes, I don't know, I'm not very sure if that'll help or not, but the intake might help a little bit. It is the more freer the turbo is breathing, the better it's performing. So that we'll see on the intake side. I don't think it'll make much of a difference, but we have to log it and see. But the low end torque in this car is mind blowing. I think this car, after the stage 2 OPF map and running on the same fuel, APR I was running on 98 RON, this is also on 98 RON and on 100 octane fuel in India. The car has gained power throughout the rev range. It's not exactly any one point where you can say, oh my god, the power is so good. The power gain has been throughout the rev range. I mean, it's from all the 2000 RPM to the red line, which is now supposed to be 7000, but I haven't seen the car do anything above 6700 so far on the logs. But yeah, so the power has gone up throughout the rev range. There is no dearth of power anywhere, and at any point of time, any gear, any RPM, I'll be faster than the APR stage 1 car. And that's just because of the map has been tuned for this setup. It's not tuned for just stock hardware. It's tuned keeping in mind that you may have a catback exhaust, which will give you maybe little horsepower, little freer flowing turbo, and you may have an intake elbow, you may have an intake, you may have a charge pipes, although I don't know charge pipes do much or not, but yeah. And most importantly, it accounts for the big intercooler that you have sitting in front, which the other one doesn't. As a result, the boost comes on at least 1500 RPM peak boost, and 1500 2000 RPM earlier. Normally on this car with the APR 98 map, which is a bigger, more aggressive map, the boost used to come in around 3000 RPM. Now at 1500 RPM, I can see the boost building up. By 2000, I'm full boost. So it is absolutely crazy how quick this car has become in the low end. You actually don't feel the need to go up the rev range, because there's so much torque available in the mid range and the low end that for daily driving, traffic, passing, everything, it's okay. It's fine. You don't even need to go full throttle. Like earlier when I'm on a highway or on a road and I want to get ahead of a car quick, what I would either do is switch it down a gear in manual mode and gun the throttle, or put it in sport, put the gearbox in sport mode and gun the throttle. Right? That would take care of my overtake. But now I don't even need to do that. I can just keep it in gear and just press the throttle slightly, and I will do it. Like, see, this 2000 RPM, and this is incredible. This is on the livability side. This map is so good. I'm not saying the APR wasn't. APR did help me in terms of keeping traction on the low end, but the drivability of this car is so good. Now I'm in 4th gear, right? Normally, if I had done the throttle in the car, now I'm in 4th gear, 2000 RPM, full boost. The car is not even going above 2000 RPM, and I'm already at 100. So the low end torque is so good on this map that it makes the car so much more lighter. You know, you feel like it got a lot more grunt in the low end, and you can use that grunt thanks to the hardware that you have in the car. Other than that, the other thing is that I showed you guys last time, maybe briefly, was rolling launch control. So what the thing says is you got to put it into manual mode, tap the brakes, press the gas, tap the brake, press the gas. See, that's rolling launch control. So it disengages the clutch for a second, let the rev build up and dumps the clutch. I don't know how good it is for the gearbox or not. I'm not going to do it every day, but it's definitely a nice feature to have. Besides that, certain quality of life improvements on the map is that it actually shows you the estimated power based on the gearbox torque output. So for this car, I don't have the fancy, the performance gauges, which you need to enable, use, buy and hack your ECU to do it. I can see the performance figures on my sports display, which I'll show you in a bit. You know, I don't think you guys can see it, but on the left hand side of my speedometer is a gauge which is showing me how much power output I'm making at any point of time. And unfortunately, this is in kilowatt, but kilowatt to horsepower is a pretty easy conversion. So the peak I have seen on this thing is about 265 kilowatt, which is about 355 horsepower, and that is around what Revo claims, but I don't think that's a realistic figure. I think overreading it, but considering the kind of times this car is doing, you know, I took this car out to get some draggy times yesterday night, and although I didn't want to go to the highway, so I did it in the GFR, but the road is very uneven, and even an uneven road and higher DA than the base of the stock run on the 98 map, I ended up with a 11.01 second 100 to 200, which is incredible. I mean, that figure itself is a testament to how quick this car has become with the stock hardware. The only hardware change in this car that I have done that is needed is the intercooler. I have to have a catback also, which helps maybe, but beyond that, nothing else is needed. You can still pass emissions. You still have the option of switching between fuel trims using the SPS, which is a pretty handy tool. You know, I mean, it does help me. I don't have to go to a dealer to switch from 95 to 98 and 97 and all. So that helps, and it also disables auto start stop for the sport and normal mode till you hit when you start the car. So when you start the car, by default auto start stop it off, but then when you go to eco mode, auto start stop automatically turns on, and then you can turn it off again. So every time you start the car's default setting is auto start stop is off. I know a lot of people complain about it. I don't mind it at all. I think auto start stop saves a lot of fuel. But in this kind of situation, I'd rather keep it off when it's bumper to bumper traffic. So yeah, the other take, I mean, we're trying to get some dyno time on this car to see what it makes. But I think the draggy numbers say it all, you know, 11.01 seconds. And I am sure I can get it down to below 11 easily. I think 10.7, 10.8 is doable on a flatter surface, on a smoother surface. And obviously with a little less weight. Instead of running on half tank of fuel, maybe on a quarter tank of fuel, it'll be quicker. But yeah, definitely, I have a very sheepish feeling that this car can break into the 10s on 100 to 200, which is phenomenal for the stock turbo. You know, it also just goes to show that how different the 245 and the 230 engines are. right? Spoke to Revo in detail, and they said that we can't do this on 230 engine because the hardware is different, and there are some parameters which the 230 engine needs, which this car can extend a lot more. So yeah, good map. And Revo was having a discount also, plus the 30-day money back guarantee that they have. All tuners have it nowadays. I thought it's a no cost risk to take and evaluate this OPF Stage 2 map that Revo has been touting so much. And good, it was a very good gamble to take, and it paid off. Car is behaving beautifully, no issues. In fact, I actually feel that now with the kind of power this car is generating, particularly in the low end grunt and top end, I really think I need to upgrade my brakes. So